Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hi, how's everyone tonight?
I'm Steve,
I'm Kia.
and we just got back from Raymond James Stadium. My goodness, it is so just incredible to finally be back in an arena. Granted, if it's only for just 2 nights, to be back in an arena live with other people around the area.
You mean like-minded people like ourselves who we hadn't seen in a year because of this horrible, treacherous pandemic?
Absolutely.
So the fact is, to me, it felt like home.
Yeah.
Home, and it felt like family, like our wrestling
Because
family.
that was the one thing I noticed immediately from the crowd. And for those of you just joining in, we're of course talking about
Hi.
night one of WrestleMania. We're seeing some folks come in here, but the one thing we just saw right off the bat is the fans out there. Everybody was just happy to be there.
Yeah,
It's like it just we had been holding on to this for so long.
I think everybody was so much better with the weather and the way the weather was, and the fact that, we thought it was going to be delayed, and then we get all the way there, we get in our seats, and we get through the whole screening and the whatnot, and we get in our seats, and they're playing this awesome intro. It goes all the way through, and then, we get to almost the first match with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, and then there's a rain delay for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean they play they play the opening thing. We're hyped. Everybody's out of their seats. We're pumped.
On
we're
our
ready.
feet.
We know Drew. They've already announced Drew's coming out 1st
Mhm.
and everything else. And then all of a sudden, all the lights go back up, and they say, "Oh, but guess what? We're in a lightning delay. Sorry, you got to do so." So we ended up having to run undercover for about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We were able to get some popcorn
And a pretzel,
Yeah, well, you ate the pretzel.
which was good.
But
Either way, that's not the point.
we digress. The fact is, just listening to the fans, just everybody, didn't matter where they came from, didn't
Mhm.
matter how far they had traveled, everyone just had that same mindset of we were just happy
Yeah.
to be here. Let's talk night one. Anybody that's in the chat, feel free to throw your 2 cents. You open with Drew and Bobby. Which I thought was the proper way to do things.
They
And we
did
had a
well.
gut feeling, even on Top Rope Spoilers, we said there was a good chance that they might. Even though it was against my pick because I really thought they'd give Drew their moment, I kind of feel like they went the right route in, making Bobby win and having Bobby win.
Here's the thing with that. I don't feel like with as long as he's been here and he left and he came back, I don't feel that Lashley should have had this moment taken from him. He walked into Mania as the champ. Why not walk out? Drew, despite the fact that he didn't have a crowd when he actually won the title, Lashley should not have that title removed from around his waist or whatever. I feel like it's still his time and he still deserves to be in that spotlight. And so it was best shown at Mania tonight. And it was a back and forth match, so it could have gone either way, honestly.
Right, and it may not be the last time that we see them face off with each other, but a very good match, and the way you needed it, you needed that,
Yeah, it was.
that really big pop. Comment down there, it was
a
classic,
classic.
absolutely. It's probably not going to be one that's going to, in my opinion, ring out, as the future goes on, but it's going to be viewed as forever the first match returning back from the pandemic.
Yeah.
They get the credit for that match. The crowd going completely ballistic for their entrances and everything else exactly the way that it needed to be. Then you get the tag team turmoil match.
I feel like Naomi was robbed. I feel like Naomi and Lana, as hard as they worked,
Have
I
you
feel like
ever
they were
have you ever
robbed.
noticed every time that there's a battle royal or there is a turmoil match of this kind, somehow Naomi always has to go first?
Yeah, and then she ends up
She can't be that unlucky on the draw.
And then she ends up getting robbed, and I felt like, everybody in that match, from...
But somehow the pinfall that knocked out Naomi somehow
Did not knock out
Liv
her.
or Ruby, whichever one was getting pinned, somehow didn't have to lose to that.
So either way, and it didn't work twice. I wish it hadn't worked the first time, but it kind of did, and it was what it was.
I was very happy though because honestly my pick was, I said, anybody other than Natalya and Tamina, and yet there was a loud cheer. Honestly, one of the bigger pops of the night. I don't know how anybody who watched it on TV. I don't know how y'all heard it on your end. I don't know if they pumped in crowd noise. I haven't looked. But Tamina got a huge pop for getting the chance to get the Samoan splash and the pin. It was a really good pop.
You
for
have
her.
to think, how long has she been here? How long has she not held a title? How long has
She's never held one.
She has worked. I feel like honestly I think she's been robbed too, honestly, for someone who's been here as long as she has, and she's had to put everybody else over, and she's had to do these different storylines, and now I feel like she should be getting her chance. And despite it being with Natalya, they are fierce, they're both fierce, and I think honestly probably two of the best to go up against, because we haven't really seen them go up against Shayna and Nia, have we? I
know Tamina's had some back and forth with them. To answer the question that came in, what was the atmosphere like when Drew came out? The atmosphere was good, but it kind of got sucked away because of the little rain delay.
Yeah.
Because they played the hype video, they played the big moment, and then all of a sudden they didn't really tell anybody like, hey, we're gonna open up again in 5 minutes. It was, just all of a sudden everybody heard the hype package being
promo
played again, and everybody just went back to their seats just on instinct.
Yeah.
So I feel like a bit of the moment got sucked away.
It did, but they made it and they did their thing.
They made it work. It was a good play.
But let's talk about the match I want to talk about. The Damian Priest, Bad Bunny, and the fact that he came in on a semi-truck. Yeah,
Bad Bunny lived the dream tonight.
He really did, and he surprised me. He did really well for someone who's never wrestled before. And, I love The Miz and I love Morrison and I love everything that they are. And you have to think, they've come a long way, Miz and Morrison, from what they were to what they are now. And the fact that I feel, honestly, I'm comfortable. Like I've already told people, if I had to have two people in the ring that I would trust, it'd be Randy Orton, The Miz, maybe even Cena too, because those are some of the people I would trust to actually help me carry a match.
Miz is definitely a guy that's going to protect the people he's in the ring with, absolutely. And I thought Bad Bunny, definitely did not disappoint. It's very clear he took it seriously. He took his training to get ready for this very, very seriously. So props to Bad Bunny, props to Damian Priest for getting a great push in his first WrestleMania match as a main roster competitor.
He came from NXT, and I thought, okay, they're not going to do well. But
do you know that just a little side note here, because I'm a stat guy. Do you know 90% of our current roster is NXT alumni at this point?
Yes, I know.
There are very few people. The list is small of people who did not spend time in NXT that's still on the roster at this point.
I noticed that. I think every time we do a WrestleMania, I think we notice more and more people come from NXT.
And pretty soon it'll just saturate completely through where everybody who's on the roster will at some point have been in NXT.
At some point, exactly.
But good job to Bad Bunny. Another person who got a huge pop tonight, and we all were thrilled, got a humongous ovation from the crowd, was Cesaro.
He deserved it. He deserved, in my opinion, I do not know, give me your 2 cents. He has been around. He has done everything. He has done everything without question. He's played heel. He's played face. He's done every storyline from a rugby player to Tuxedo Man to Bond to whatever. Anything they have asked him to do without question. And then you have to think he's been one of the few that you could pair him literally with any tag team partner and he'd be fine. You could put him by himself and he'd be great. Honestly, I also say Seth is probably another person I can get in the ring with and feel comfortable with carrying the match and just look at it.
Well, we even said in our preview show that said this would be the match that would be the one that has the most potential to be all caliber, and they did not disappoint either one of them. A fantastic match, had a little bit of comedy, a little bit of great storytelling, a little bit of classic from the back. You see the old Cesaro come in with the uppercut punches. You see the pedigree from Seth. But, a great play where they really toyed with your emotions every step of the way.
I love the promo package, the advertisement that was by Seth's friend and not Seth himself.
But not associated with Seth himself.
I loved it. I thought it was just okay.
Seth for president.
I thought it was just kind of it kind of segued, and I was like, wait a minute. I turned off my camera and I turned it back on. But honestly, Cesaro is one of the few. Honestly, I think deserves this moment, and the fact that you saw genuine tears.
Yeah,
and he wasn't.
You saw that from a lot of people tonight.
You really
Anybody
did.
who saw the preview package saw Sasha was crying in the back. Rio was crying. There were a lot of tears. Bianca, we'll get to them in a minute, but even Bianca could not hold back, her feelings.
UFO first time in WWE by Cesaro.
Oh, talking about the UFO is the spinning version of it where he puts him on his shoulders.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, and again, very few people have the strength to be able to do that. I would think maybe Bianca would be the only one in the women's division that I think could pull off something like that. But Cesaro got a great pop.
Yes.
Let's see, what else was there?
By the way, let's not skip over the Miz and Morrison's hey, hop song. I love it. I think they're very creative. They've always been a team that could do something like that and get away with it. And you
can tell they're just having fun. They're now the older veterans. Morrison really the older veteran now.
Yeah.
But they're still out there having a great time. a very good tribute to the Hall of Famers. I'm glad that they gave 2020 their own day today, and then they're going to give the 2021 people tomorrow. A lot of good names in there. Titus O'Neil, of course, the Warrior Award winner.
But he does so much community. He does so much for the community, his people, the kids, and everything. So honestly, and he's done everything he's supposed to, honestly, as well as in the ring and out of the ring. Why not give it to him? Why?
Exactly. Strowman and McMahon really didn't disappoint under the circumstances of what I said was a very poorly written storyline.
It was.
But you kind of know that when Shane McMahon gets in a ring, you're going to see some good spots, and we're going to see something special, and they didn't disappoint with showing off Braun's strength. You kind of knew what was going to come of it.
Jay Torres is wanting to get to the match that we both want to talk about.
Yeah, we saved it for last because we wanted to we could spend 45 minutes talking about it. First of all, let's get the elephant out of the room. Both of their looks tonight.
Oh my God! I was so thrilled with Sasha. The fact that she was paying homage to Naomi.
Understanding, someone who's still there on the roster, and showing homage, going with the neon green, the green front of the hair, everything else, just looking like a really badass villain. I thought it had a very Ursula kind of vibe to it as well. If you remember, well, I was thinking Ursula from Descendants, or not Ursula, but who's the daughter? Uma, thank you. I was gonna say draw it. She's more Disney than I am at this point. But I mean, both of them absolutely slayed in their outfits.
I liked how if everybody follows Instagram and they follow Bianca, you figure in one of her stories she was actually making her wrestling gear in front of everyone, and she put as caption, no, the fact. Sorry about that technical difficulties. The fact that they both slayed, they both looked good, and it was just, to me, for me, understand, it's a proud moment for me as a black female, first of all, to see two of my four favorites, like Bianca and Sasha, and then you have Naomi, and then you have Ember, who's down on NXT, who's also holding the title. For me to see these women do their thing, it's just very empowering.
It's also very important because, you saw it at the beginning when after the bell rang and everything else, and I think the moment hit both of them that okay, this is really happening. This is no longer a dream. Bianca really having a hard time being able to kind of get herself, situated. A couple of tears came out, but then you saw them both just kind of go, like,
okay,
all right, let's do this. And it didn't disappoint, and there's going to be the skeptics who say, oh, it's the night one main event, whatever. It was the main event, okay? And the history it comes with, you can't ignore that. Bianca and Sasha put on a great show, There was no way we were going to walk out of this without somebody being upset and somebody being happy. I love both of them dearly.
I do too.
So there was no way we were going to walk out of this being happy for both of them.
But didn't we both say, like in our our on the top rope spoilers, there would be happy tears, sad tears? I was happy for Bianca, but I was sad for Sasha too.
Sad for Sasha.
I still felt like she deserved her main event moment, but at the same time, I was the one that said I think Bianca is ready. I think I was one of the few that said I felt like she was ready. I
was the skeptic that says that I didn't think. I thought she was close, and they eventually would do it, but I thought they weren't ready to give her the keys to the car yet. But guess what? 1 year to the day between making her main roster debut at WrestleMania along with her husband and Angelo Dawkins, and a year later she walks out of WrestleMania not only main eventing but also as the SmackDown Women's Champion.
You looked at that and you looked at her on NXT and you saw from NXT what she was capable of, and the fact that she never won the women's NXT title. So I felt in my mind, if you haven't won that title, then you're deserving of a title on the main roster, and the fact that we know what she can do, I knew I had faith, and I already told her I had faith.
Well, the emotions were very high, and I'm glad that comment just rolled through from Jay Torres. You can look all around our section. We sat up in the upper area. We're going to post pictures for those of you who haven't. Subscribe to our YouTube, the entrance videos, fireworks, all kinds of stuff. It's all going up there a little bit later, and we're getting to that in just a second. We can't ignore Omos and AJ Styles absolutely putting on their classic show. Omos looking like the monster we thought he would be. They're gonna do something real special with the two of them. And hey, Grand Slam AJ now, Grand Slam Styles.
I am so proud of him. That's my Georgia Peach right there. I love that man.
For a guy who's only been here for, I think he's only in his 5th year too.
He is.
So to run the gambit that quickly, that's impressive.
Yes, he has.
But night one, it was thrilling to be back. Granted, the weather, threw havoc into it a little bit, but it was wonderful to be back in the arena. We met some wonderful people. Also got a chance to see some very good friends. For those of you who don't follow our neighbors to the right for tonight and for tomorrow, the Boston Hug Connection. They're the ones who wear the Sasha and Bailey cosplays. Go follow them if you don't already. They have excellent material out here, just like we do. It's very, it's overwhelming, honestly, emotionally, to be back.
Jay Torres said she was surprised to see AJ Styles and Omos. Did I pronounce it right correctly?
Omos. It's according to who you talk to.
But I think we looked at it as New Day has been here. They've been in the spotlight. They've done it. They are well-oiled machine. They have each other's back. So we assumed, and I picked them to win the whole thing, because you have to think AJ Styles is a wrestler, and Omos has been his bodyguard, and he left, Underground to come because AJ needed a bodyguard after his other teammates left. So I was surprised too, but hey,
Well, you wanted him to look like the monster, and now he is, and now you're just going to be interested to see how it goes. But
I want to see the match of him and Braun Strowman at some point.
They're both on the same show, so
I know,
it can happen.
That's why I want to see it.
But anyway, we're gonna wrap things up because it's late. She's got some work to do for tomorrow. Something real special coming to the channel.
That's exactly what I will show y'all. I have something very special, so hopefully y'all like it. And
I know what it is, and you're gonna love it.
Tell me what you think when you see it tomorrow. Tell me. Well, I can't really say too much without giving it away, but you'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah, so anyway, for those of you who joined us, night
you.
1 WrestleMania, we're just thrilled to be back. 2 title changes with 1 getting new plates. So the Sasha plates, served us well, but we're going to see what plates they give to Miss Belair, now SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Put some respect on it. So either way, for those of you who watched, whether you were in the building, thank you so much. It's WrestleMania again, and hey, we're only halfway done. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Night 2 coming up. Have a good rest of your night. Bianca, Sasha, y'all slayed. Congratulations.
Love you all.
And y'all have a good night.
Peace.